Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the first taping of our segment, Our Voice, the Haitian Hip Hop Generation. This afternoon I have a special show, and I also have some special guests here with me. The topic we're going to talk about today is basically how to successfully assimilate different cultures within one person. Let me first start by introducing my special guest, Ms. Anne. I have Nadine Etienne, who's the Human Resource Director.
Yeah.
I have Stefan Jacob, who's a Senior Finance Consultant, and I have Magda, who's a high school junior. And I guess we can just get right into the first question. In your perspective, how do you define Haitian? I mean, in your voice, and this question is basically for either one of you. I don't want to pinpoint anybody in particular, but to you, what is being Haitian? You know, just Nadine, do you want to take a stab at it, or anybody?
I think being Haitian means being multifaceted. Haitians are typically well-educated, very culturally strong, and travelers, and they sort of adapt very easily to just about anything. So being Haitian to me means just encompassing so many things that it's always hard to categorize a Haitian person because we mean so many things. I think that's what I would say.
I would say that the first thing I think of when I think of Haitian is someone who solves problems. Haitians are innovative, ingenious. My grandmother was able to always come up with ways to fix things and make do with whatever they had or whatever she had. Be creative is probably the next thing that comes to mind. Really creative in terms of not just music, but also the arts and literature and food, of course.
Mike, Ben, what do you think? Good insight.
I think that well, I'm 17, and so my perspective of being Haitian is just like we stand out from other cultures. There are some things that most cultures won't see or even think of doing together as a culture. We kind of stand out as ourselves, and that's why I wouldn't say, as Nadia said, there's like you can't really. I should say there's. I don't think you can characterize Haitians. It's just that we just stand out as as being who we are and as being part of a culture that motivates people as to who they are to define themselves as being Haitians. That's what I think.
Pretty interesting. I know living in a city like Chicago, it's often very hard to keep that Haitianness, if such would exist, because there's not really that much stuff that caters to our basically to our generation and stuff like that. I mean, do you have anything in particular in terms of people, event, anything that basically kind of help you to stay grounded, and kind of embrace that?
My mother's cooking.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to food.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about it is that to be Haitian means to have adapted many European cultures and African cultures and cultures that have also melded. So we're, as you were saying, very creative, but also very artistic. So part of being grounded means going to watch a soccer game or dancing some salsa merengue or eating something.
Yeah.
Because what I found to have worked for me is whenever I want to find my culture, I find it in the food that I eat, in the artistic things that I do, and we've adapted well with so many of our surrounding countries when you come from Haiti.
Right.
You've got Cuba on one side, Jamaica on the other, and Puerto Rico. That being Haitian also means having tentacles in many other places.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think that, in Chicago, yeah, you can't find a whole lot of Haitian things, but, if you're into reggae, you can go to a place and, you hear some stuff, and after a while you're like, oh, that kind of sounds like some Haitian music.
Right.
Go to a Cuban restaurant and the food, oh, that's kind of like what mom makes. So there are sort of avenues to find things that are, that I think are sort of reminiscent of things that are Haitian.
So basically, you're kind of taking this back to the multicultural aspect that you brought up. That we're so multicultural that we basically feel comfortable in any other culture.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, the other thing too is to try to support what does come here,
Right.
because in Chicago, like you said, it's pretty difficult to find events.
Right.
Because there isn't necessarily this large group like you'll find in Boston or New York or Miami, just sheer numbers to support groups to come here. But when they do, most of us go out and support the groups, whether it's somebody coming to cook or somebody coming to play music or somebody giving a lecture somewhere at a university. Typically, you'll find us go out in force and just reconnect.
For example, when White Clef comes this summer, I'm sure there's going to be
We're
a bunch
all
of people.
going.
Oh yeah, out of that. You can count it. Magda, in your situation, since you still live at home and you're a little bit younger, so you don't really have the freedom to do stuff on your own. I mean, what's keeping you, centered in your Haitianness, if you want to use that word?
Friends that are Asian. I was just talking to a friend the other day. It's just like we sit there and just nag about our parents, how they are. And
Whoa, are you telling me your parents are strict? No.
Right.
And sit there and just nag about them, make fun of them. I guess that. And then sometimes when we have other friends that are just like they don't understand what we're talking about. And sometimes we transfer into Creole, and then we have our Creole English, which is Creole and English put together. And so when we do that, it's like a connection. We understand what we're going through, we understand what we're talking about, but when other friends are like, we don't get what you're talking about, I said, if you were only Haitian, you understand, right? So I guess that's how, I connect to my culture, is friends that are Haitian, so.
To Magda's point, a lot of it has to do with parents.
Oh, yeah.
My sister was born in Germany, but she calls herself very Haitian, and she has 2 daughters, and they know they're Haitian. And they're multicultural. My first niece is born of both Haitian parents. My sister remarried, and her second daughter is American and Haitian. But Isabel knows how to eat, mangoes like you wouldn't believe, and she knows rice, and she knows how to dance to Haitian music. She can switch her hips, everything. So part of it is the foundation that your parents give you to be proud of where you come from, because there's so much media propaganda out there that will say, oh, it's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, it's the most illiterate. Well, but there's so much that we know that's different.
Right.
And it caters to a particular group of people that need to hear that. But most of the people that I've actually met that weren't through media sources, whenever they speak of a Haitian that they know, they're like, oh, wow, they're the nicest people, they're really smart, they're so educated and things like that. Because, and that could possibly be because of the ones that were able to travel to places like the United States were the ones who could afford to. But I think a lot of it has to do with the grounding and the pride that our parents bring to us that make us know that we come from a really place.
But I think the other point is, regardless of whether or not you left Haiti or stayed in Haiti, I think everyone in Haiti it works hard. I mean, I think Haitians are sort of known as being really diligent, hard workers. I mean, some people I think start out with more resources and are therefore able to do more with the same hard work. But I think people are breaking their backs every day. And I think that's one thing that's probably constant amongst all Haitians, regardless of where they come from or what they look like.
The two of you actually, and I didn't find your case, it's pretty interesting because I know you were born in France and you kind of grew up there. Then you went to Haiti for a while, then came here. So you're not only dealing with two cultures, you're dealing with three. And with you, Stefan, I know what your father being in the Air Force, so you were constantly exposed to other culture by traveling and stuff. So, I mean, first of all, I have to congratulate the two of you because it's not easy. I mean, you can easily get influenced to kind of stay, because I've met so many people on the other, end of the spectrum. They're like, I don't want to have anything to do with Haitian. I'm not Haitian, nothing to do with it. But the two of you in particular, it's like, how?
If I could chime in, I think what we both benefited from probably is a strong foundation at home. I mean, I think our parents were really strong presence. Even in my house, my parents were really, I wouldn't say forceful, but they had standards. You had to meet them, and that was kind of all it was. It wasn't really, there wasn't any kind of discussion.
Right. Right now, right? Discussion.
And I think, and I'm grateful for that. And I think having moved around a lot, the only constant in my life was my family, and that is probably why I kind of see my Haitian as such a strong part of my identity, because it was the only thing that was consistent.
For me, it takes me about an hour and a half to describe who I am to somebody who meets me, because I have to explain to them, and people want to categorize you. Okay, wait. Tell me again, where were you born? I was born in France. So you're French, yes, but I'm also Haitian. Okay, how is that? And you're brown in French? Like, could you please go back? So, and it's, for me, it's the easiest thing. So what I have tried to do is just to grasp the best part of each of the things that are French and the best part of each of the things that are Haitian, and the worst parts of French and the worst part of Haitian. I've made them all work in a way that is useful when I need it. So I am both those things, and I just I'm about to become an American because I just went through my citizenship exam last week.
Wow.
And I'm very proud of that, but it was a really difficult moment for me. And the way I made it work is that I'm just adopting yet another place. So the foundation of the parents, as you talked about, is so critical and important, because my mother made a choice to go to France. She had me there. My sister was born in Germany, and then we came here. My cousins are from Spain. And so when you come to my house and you go to parties, you'll be sitting there so interested because we have all those things to speak of. And it just makes you a more interesting and flexible person, because you can adapt to anyone, adapt to anything, adapt to anywhere. And then you'll also learn to appreciate those, because we're multicultural, we adopt other people very easily as well.
And for the boring people like me who only grew up in this country.
Which a million people are trying to get into.
Yeah.
Now, how do you deal with friends? Because I know I've had that issue with, my friends don't understand where I'm coming from. Why I say I can't do something because I have to go do something for my mom. Yeah, but can't your mom do it by herself? She has a car.
Right.
And it's like, it doesn't work that way in our, in our community. So how do you manage to explain it, or, keep the relationship going by still doing what you need to do, as a Haitian, person, but still, keep your relationship going with your friends?
For me, it's explaining it when I have to. Sometimes I don't have to explain it, but I find that a lot of times we're not the only ones we're not the only culture that's like that.
Right.
Right.
You know, the Latinos, they can understand and relate to that. You know,
Right.
the Chinese, they can understand and relate to that, and many American people can relate to that too. And you just explain this is just how we are, and sometimes it is difficult for people to understand. You know, people who grew up in an American culture where family is not necessarily as strong as ours don't understand that. I think it makes it easier to have friends when they come from a culture that's similar. But when they don't come from a culture that's similar, I find that people tend to respect it.
Yeah.
Because we are so close and we do things for each other, because that means we'll be just as generous with them.
I think most of my friends actually I've known for such a long time that it never comes up anymore. It's already sort of a given. You kind of know what I mean. If I have to go do something, I have to go, and that's it. There's no real discussion. And the other thing is, and maybe this is just me, I don't have that many American friends.
No, me either.
Yeah, most of my friends are first generation American. That's what I mean by that. So let me clarify that. Most of my friends, their parents came from someplace else, so they can kind of relate to
Where you totally.
the kind of family dynamics that I think we deal with.
I agree with you, because I tried to date American. It was a huge failure from a cultural perspective. And so the people that I've most successfully dated came from cultures that are similar to mine, and my current significant other is from very similar background, Brazilian, and understands it, and it makes it so much easier because there's so many things you don't have to explain, and so many things that they just relate to and understand why you do the things that you do. It makes it that much easier.
If they want me, I just tell them, go ahead, ask my mother. See she says, yeah, okay. If she says no, don't keep pursuing.
You got it all figured out, don't you?
It's not gonna work. I tell all the time, but most of my friends are eager to learn. They want to learn the culture. Oh wow, the food, I can't get them out of my house. It's impossible. I'm coming over. Your mom cooking? Unfortunately, yes. I'm there in 5 minutes. No, you're not. You're not coming over. But most of them are eager to learn. They just, I don't know, for some reason they just want to learn more. They love it. They like the music. They like the music more than I do. They like to show some of their concerts more than I do. I don't understand the words going on. I don't understand why somebody would listen to that type of music. But
More than 50 cents, right?
Yeah.
no, I'm more of the compa zen type thing.
Wow.
I'm not the chanson de français, all that.
Oh.
You're like, I'm not feeling it. You're not feeling it.
No Edith Piaf.
Nigga Mathieu.
No Leon Dimanche.
No,
I saw him in concert. I don't understand why women like him so much. No offense, he was kind of weird. Never mind. But I don't understand. But I just like the upbeat type stuff. So
Okay.
most of my friends are eager to learn. They like it. I don't understand. I kind of question them. But are you sure you not Haitian? You take the culture a little bit more seriously than I do. I mean, I take it seriously, but you are so into it.
See, and Haitian people are very funny, naturally funny. And there's something about the artistic part that is so, it describes the culture so well, and it's one of the things that I think brings people to really, once they meet us, they want to be friends, because we know about Celia Cruz, we know about Tito Puente, we know about Nana Muscui and Mia Mathieu, and stuff like that, Baba Ma and Yusundur, and we know how to dance, and we're really, really attractive people. So
And modest.
Get it up,
Just kidding. So just really welcoming. I think most Haitians that you'll find are very inviting.
Yeah.
No agendas for the most part, unless you're talking about politics or something.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Magda, you going away to college next year, right? That must be a challenge. I mean, how you getting your mom to understand, because this is definitely not not something that we're accustomed. When I say we as, Haitian, that we're used to. We're so used to, the kids staying at home until they get married and stuff. So I know how you definitely go.
She's going to a local university, and that's it.
Right. That was my story. Same here. So you
I'm kidding.
So you're actually one of the lucky ones. How did you manage to get your mom to accept that?
She's still not accepting it. But she is going to accept it. My father wants me to go away. My mother, okay, I know I'm the only child on my mother's side, but it's hard for her to accept that I'm getting older and I'm leaving the house and I'm trying to be my own person. Because, when she told me she'd leave the house till she was 24, and her mother had to put her out. Her mom didn't want it anymore. She thought her mother had to just let her go. She didn't want to leave, but I'm totally opposite of my mother. I mean, I love my mother, don't get me wrong. I love the culture, but yet I still have to go experience on my own. And I have to grow. I mean, I feel that I have to take my culture along with me and teach other people about it. Because if I don't do that, then it'll seem like they're going to be, they're not going to know what it's like to be Haitian or what it's like to have a Haitian mother or what it's like to grow in Haitian culture. So I feel that I have the responsibility to actually go out there and teach people about the Haitian culture.
How noble of you.
Wow.
That's a
That's a good pitch. I like that.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of accepting it. She's like iffy about it, but when all begins well and ends well, she'll get over it.
Mm.
It'll take time, but she'll get over it.
Now you don't think you're gonna just love, it's the whole Haitian culture thing once you're away, are you? Just because your mom's been so strict with you?
I think it'll be a 50-50 type thing. I mean, I do have my hats, my keychains and stuff like that, flags and everything. I mean, even like some of my friends, they even want to wear my stuff, and sorry, that's mine. Can't have it. But I think it'll be 50-50. Both.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you think have come with, having to embrace more than one culture? That's one thing I know I can answer. Sometimes it's like when people are telling you, where are you from? You don't look Haitian, or you don't look American.
Right.
Or, it's like, am I supposed to act a certain way?
Right.
Or even in your own culture, when you have people, and when you're within your own Haitian environment, and people are like, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong with her? Why is she? It's like you don't even know how to be.
Right.
So that's always been my biggest challenge. And I got to a point where I'm like, okay, right now, either you love me or you hate me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna try to.
Yeah, I think you go through sort of after adolescence, you kind of deal with that a lot. I mean, I think I had a lot in sort of high school and college. There's a lot of this kind of identity crisis. Who are you? Because people ask you, well, I'm American. For a while, I just said, I'm American. But when I was really little, when I was very little, I actually changed my name for about a week. I was Stephen Andrew Jacob.
Wow.
Yeah, for about a week, and then I stopped. I can't do that. But you try to assimilate, you try to fit in. You try to please everyone, and after a while, you realize that you're not happy, and so you have to sort of revert to being yourself. And I think that was probably the biggest challenge. I mean, now, it's sort of as an adult, it's not really an issue. I mean, every once in a while, I meet someone, and they'll say something like, "Well, you're not really American." And I'll say, "Well, no, I was born here. I've got a U.S. passport. I'm American." And someone else said to me, "Well, you're not really Haitian."
Right.
Well, no, and my Creole's okay. My French is really good. No, I'm Haitian. So I think you sort of go through just kind of a process, a path of becoming who you are, and you sort of just define your own terms, I think.
I agree with Stephen Andrew Jacob. Because you really you have a portfolio of answers. depending on what the question's going to be. So if you're not really American, you've got your spiel for that. If you're not really Haitian, you got your spiel for that. You're not really French, you've got your spiel for that. It's all ready because you've had to, over the years, really try to make it ready so that you sort of allay people's fears. I think it's a fear and insecurity thing.
Right.
I mean, once you allay that fear, it becomes, a normal conversation. I've argued with people that I'm not Ethiopian, I'm not Somalian, because I look like it. And I said, when you talk about Haiti, you should go back to the history books and take a look at what was going on in the country. We had Chinese merchants, we have a lot of Arabic influences because there were so many people from the Middle East there. We had French, and there's so many mixtures in French, so of course there's not going to be one look. And there's not going to be one type of person. That's why I think the multicultural aspect is so important. I've also had many times to argue the fact that it's in the Caribbean, so it's not in Africa. It's in the Caribbean.
Yeah, right.
It's literally 3 hours later on a plane you can get there. So we're a little closer in understanding what's going on in America because we are so close to it. So you just have your toolbox ready for whatever that question's going to be that you need to make sure you answer. And sometimes I don't answer it. Sometimes I say other, like I'll check the box other because why do I have to explain myself all the time? So I think that's how I've just kind of dealt with it, is just to be prepared, knowing that it's going to come up as a question.
Yeah. To me, what really bothers me is like at work, I start talking and I see people looking at me and I know what's coming. Whenever they're looking, it's like, where are you from?
Right.
And I'm like, I got to a point where I'm like, okay, what does that got to do with what we're talking about? Because it's not that I'm being defensive, but it's like, I don't want to sit there for the next 15 minutes trying to explain myself to you.
Yeah.
Well, and what's interesting is one of the most controversial things that I can say today is the fact that when I came here, and for many years later to this day, one of the sort of, I don't want to categorize in stereotype, but one of the groups that I've had to really struggle with is African Americans, because I confused a lot of people when I came here. Because I sounded white and I acted white, and so it's like, well, what are you? And so, what I challenge them with is I probably can cite every country in Africa. I don't know that you can. I know where I come from, and I have roots that are African based, and I'm very proud of them. So I it continues to be a struggle from that perspective, because I found that I was more accepted by the European and Latino cultures than people that actually look like me, and that was the hardest thing to deal with.
I think part of that, sort of having, it's kind of full circle. I think when my family came here, we moved to the sort of north suburbs of Chicago, and a lot of black people live on the south side, and so me personally, I didn't have a lot of interaction with Black Americans, and so a lot of what I was told was this myth, don't go to the South Side, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And it wasn't until college that I really started interacting with people, and a lot of those myths were kind of shattered because I had misconceptions about people. And initially, it was kind of rough because people are looking at me and, where are you from? Why do you sound so funny? Blah, blah, blah.
You sound funny. Yeah, it's like,
but after a while, you realize. I think you'll meet people who, on a good faith effort, want to meet you halfway. I definitely do, still kind of struggle with that, but less so now than when I was younger. It's an issue. There's, I think, not as much animosity in Chicago as there is in, say, New York or Miami between the Black community and the Haitian community.
Yeah.
But I think it exists. It's something we have to sort of address head on.
Definitely.
Micah, what do you think?
Wow. Wait, what was the question again? Yeah, I got really deep.
How do you deal with, in general, I don't remember the exact question,
The
but basically,
obstacles.
the obstacles. When people are like, okay, who are you? Where are you from? And it's kind of like you have to explain yourself. Well, I'm Haitian. How do you deal with that?
I guess I just explained it to them. I haven't gone through the things that you guys gone through yet, but I know I will. But most people just automatically think that I'm either Jamaican or African. I got into an argument with a lady in the store because she thought I was Ghanaian. I was like, she's like, why are you in denial? What are you talking about? I don't know what you said. She was like, I know you understand what I'm saying. No, I don't. It was crazy, but I get a lot of that. And then people are like, you don't look like you American. You look different. I'm like, what do you mean I look different?
Different
How
from
do,
what?
what do Haitians look like?
Right.
You tell me. They're like, you just look different. I said, okay.
I feel you, girl.
I look different.
You say thank you.
Yeah.
I know. If you say so, I look different.
That's what I got to a point of doing now. I say thank you.
Yeah.
I'm different. Of course I'm different.
Yeah. Different from what?
I
you
don't
know?
see it, but all right then.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. And like you said, people think I was white. You
Mhm.
know, you live on the north side. They're like, oh, you white, you this, you that. I said, yeah, I'm white.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, check. I didn't think so, but yeah, I get that a lot. They're like, you. They ask me more of my parents. Where your parents from? Parents are from Haiti. So what are you?
That's
I
good.
said, you take a wild guess, and then you come back to me tomorrow.
Part of it too is that you know you can either choose a path of internal struggle or not, and I think most of us have chosen a path that is really just it gives you self-confidence. You know, because once you sort of you look in the mirror after all these questions are posed, you know, like, oh my God, I'm this crazy monster. Nobody knows what I am, and they ask me all these questions about me, and they're telling me I'm something else, and then you look at yourself in the mirror, you decide, I must be something pretty important that everybody seems to have an opinion about me. You know, and then you sort of look in the mirror and you're just happy with the face that you see, and it's a really proud face,
Exactly.
and a face that has really been at the forefront of so much revolution, you know, and so much trailblazing that our country was part of. That's sort of what makes me feel at peace with who I am.
Maybe take a 1 minute pause. Okay.
Okay.
We're back with a special guest on the special topic of being Haitian and everything else. So, my next question is, you know how everything in life, there's challenges and there's downside and there's also benefit. So, besides the food, there must be some other key benefit. I mean, from being multicultural. Me, the one that kind of stands out for me is the ability to speak more than one language. And the fact that I learned the French, that made it so much easier for me to pick up, Spanish than Portuguese. So to me, that was the greatest benefit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you care to share.
There's definitely a lot of that. For me, it's the adaptation to so many cultures because we have the same food and the dancing and the artistic part. Traveling, I think we're naturally curious and very much into politics. Haitians are very politically astute. No matter who you are, there will be a conversation that you can have a debate. So it makes you interested in the world, and then therefore it just kind of sprouts from there. So I think that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think from a very young age, I don't know if it's because where my dad is particularly, but I was always sort of interested in, other cities around the world and other countries and, other people and stuff. And so whenever I meet someone, the third question is normally, where are you from? And then I probably know something about wherever they're from.
Right.
And I think it just makes it easy to meet people and talk to people who are, either like you or not like you. I think it's something that makes it, that's been easy to do.
Right there?
I think maybe probably me is just the language, because I don't know. I guess I like speaking another language besides English to my mother. Especially if I want to tell her something, I'll just say it in Creole so nobody will understand. And most people will hate that.
You want to talk about something?
I love doing it. And plus, even at school, there are some Haitian girls there. So, like, if we're in a classroom or something, we'll just sit there and talk, and people are looking at us like, I thought you were black. Like, what? Like, what are you saying? Like, don't worry about it. Okay. And they do that a lot. I don't know. I just like it, the language, and my friends always want to know a new word every day. So sometimes they'll come to me, and sometimes they'll surprise me like "Sakase." I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
They'll throw me off guard. I'm walking down the hall, but then I'll start speaking to them as if they were Haitian. They're like, wait a minute, slow down.
Right.
I don't understand the word you said. I forgot. But yeah, I guess it's the language I like.
Another thing I forgot to mention, I think also the taste. I don't know if you guys realize that, but us as Haitian, we have a different
Palette?
No, not
Flavor.
like in terms of
Color food,
in terms of
clothes,
in terms of
coloring.
clothing. I don't know if you realize that we're more. Our taste in clothing and stuff like that is definitely different.
It's pretty vivid and
Yeah.
unafraid.
And it's pretty, and you branch out. You're not just Americanized. You kind of branch out into European, and kind of the Caribbean. That's what I've noticed. Not only about me, but just
it's true. My grandmother influenced us all. So we have L'air du Temps, we have Jeannette, we have Chanel and an Hermes scarf with the American hip hop clothing and diesel jeans and stuff like that. I mean, Haitian people know how to dress. Multiculturally know how to dress for the most part. Some of us were not necessarily
challenged,
challenged, but
But I mean, I guess it's because you're down in the Caribbean and it's so much color and so much diversity down there. It's like you're used. I think I'm kind of used to seeing it.
I think it's more than that though, because a lot of us, we're not down there.
Right,
it's just
but
you kinda carry it-
it stays with you.
Yeah.
When you
Mhm.
go to different places. It just
I
stays
always,
with you.
yeah, I always say that. Well, you've been in Chicago 24 years. Why are you cold? Because I have Haitian blood.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's not going to change after 24 years.
There's a reason
I'm
why.
cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to kind of close it up, you know how usually when you go through something, like whatever experience or stuff, when you look back, there's usually things that you would, if you had a chance, if you were given the opportunity, you would like to change. I don't know about you guys, but for me, one of the things I wish I had done was to actually learn how to write. I speak Creole. But in terms of reading it and writing it, I'm like, you can be writing me a letter, saying I'm gonna kill you in Creole, and I'm like, okay, I'm just, looking at it and smiling at you. So that's one thing that I wish, now I do, but it's, it's logistically, it's not really feasible for me to learn Creole now as I would want to. So this is one thing I wish growing up that I really took the time to learn how to write and read Creole and stuff. So I don't know if you guys have any regrets, anything that you would change, or perhaps no. But that's one thing I know when I have kids, I want to make sure that, at least they know the basic, even if, they can do it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I'd learned Creole. I mean, it wasn't really a choice, growing up, but, as an adult now, it'd be a nice thing to be able to have a lot more fluency in Creole. And I can sort of get by,
Right.
order a drink or something, but I don't feel comfortable speaking it at all.
As far as what I would change.
Yeah.
Anything that you wish you had done, anything. Or if not, if you just...
I think for me it would probably be to try to assimilate less. I came when I was becoming a teenager, and for any teenage person, coming to a different country, giving up your friends, different language. I'm used to 80 degrees, walking to school, and then coming to Chicago, where I have to speak English, learn new friends, not crying every time I open my mouth because I have an accent. So I really tried to assimilate when I was 12, 13, 14. I was wearing the clothes. I was trying to sound American very poorly. And so it was just really trying to assimilate. And at one point, it was somebody that I had met later on as I turned like 20 that was so proud of where I had come from and who I was, more so than me, that I was like, wait a minute, and so I was testing it out, trying to cook Haitian food like my mom did, and learning more Creole and stuff like that, and it felt really comfortable, and I was like, I think this is something I can be okay with, and I don't have to assimilate, because as much as I tried to assimilate, just like Magda said, people were like, where are you from again? Because you're something else. So I'm trying to assimilate, so I failed at that. There's a reason, so I think if I had to do it again, I would just be who I am and just be okay with it, and try to teach people just like she does, as opposed to trying to become somebody else, because when you try to become somebody else, you will not succeed. So.
Changes, probably the communication, and
That's a show in itself.
the communication and the strictness. It's not that I don't want it, but at least be less of it. It could drive somebody up the wall. But other than that, nothing really. Just the communication and strictness. I mean, I know we have morals. Parents have morals, and they want us to follow it. But hey, come on now. You gotta let us find our own morals.
And that's the thing about being Haitian. Our parents are strict.
Oh, yeah.
When you're my age, though, you will realize why they were.
Yeah.
Because I can go to the top restaurant in the world, and I know what to do. And I can go to a baseball game, and I know what to do. And anybody can invite me in their house, and my family will be proud of me because I know how to act.
Right.
There are a lot of people who don't know how to act. And to this day, my mother will give me a look that I understand. When she gives me that look, whatever I was doing, I can't do it anymore.
Stop. Yep.
And that's all she needs to do. So, but in the end, it makes sense, and I want to teach my children just like my parents and my grandmother did, because it really works to make you a very disciplined person that's a social human being that you can just put amongst other people and you can be very proud of them.
See, that's what makes it kind of benefit in the end. That's what makes a person better in the end, because even if your parents weren't strict, people won't recognize you for who you are. They'll just be like, oh, she's somebody like everybody else. But I mean, Haitians stand out. As I said before, we stand out, and based on how we grew up and everything else, other than that, people recognize us as more than what we would see ourselves. They'll notice us as like, wow, she is this and that because of where she came from, because of how she was raised or how he or she was raised. So I think that's a benefit to it, but yet, still try
Trying to get a message out there.
SOS.
just go ahead a little, we understand, we know what we're doing, but come on now, just a little something, because my friends, we complain, and our parents know we complain, and our parents know we talk about them, they still love them.
Hey, the show is called A Voice for a Reason, so girl, get it out there. Hopefully they'll be listening.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
Get them to watch.
Next thing now, that was television on me. See, that wasn't me. No, I mean, that was my sister.
You can say it at home, say it here. This is what this is all about.
Right.
Get it out there.
As soon as you see it at home, what was you saying? Nothing. That wasn't me. That was the devil talking.
I really wanted to thank you guys. Thanks for your time.
No,
thanks for coming. And, thanks for your insight. I mean, as I said before, I really look up to you guys because there's not that many of you out there that's, that's very grounded and is not afraid to say, I'm Haitian, but yet still, So I'm hoping that this show, a lot of people are watching it and, young ones like Magda, or even older ones that, decide, like you said, to, let me just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that, sends a message out there. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands up. Just like this. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands up. Don't be ashamed. Put your hands up. Ladies and gentlemen, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, nobody, 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 hallelujah, nobody, just yourself.
To answer that question, I recall having that dilemma when I was trying to fill out the SAT. The thing is that, unfortunately, the Office of Management and Budget in D.C., they set aside the categories. Haitian American is not one of those. It behooves us as a community to be proactive. The same way that the Latino and Asian subgroups are now better delineated, that's how we, in the long run, can do that. Unfortunately, in America, we don't recognize the heterogeneity within the black population. We look at the phenotypic designations, okay? So we say African American is the euphemism for black, but not all African Americans, not all blacks are African American. So now for us it's a dilemma because we have the language and we don't have just the physical characteristics, how we are seen, but the expectation is that we adopt, that we relate to the African American experience, but that's not the case. Even those of us, like myself, born and raised here, but I went to school in Haiti, came back to the States. So how do I identify? I say I'm Haitian American. You find me a box that says Haitian American, even if I write in other. True enough, the point, and Aliette said that the computer may not pick it up. That's true. Why? Because we haven't created enough of a movement to say that we demand that we be recognized as Haitian American or Haitians, whatever it is that we want to call ourselves. So for now, it's something that's starting. A lot of college students are trying to find what their identity is, but it's up to us to dictate to the powers that be how it is that we want to be, quote unquote, labeled. So that's just to answer that question. And I just want to thank everyone here because I learned a lot tonight. A lot of what I've heard is stuff that I think about all the time. The issue about identity and culture, true enough, my parents don't have the same issues that I did and that I do because they were raised in a certain environment in Haiti, came to the States knowing exactly who they are. And they have to express that to the powers that be. For myself, born and raised here, when I'm in with my African-American peers, I'm African-American. That's the way they want to see. They want to see how do you relate. When I went to high school with all my white counterparts, they saw me as a black person. They didn't care about Haiti. What? They thought it was a novelty to be black and French speaking. So, but even within, and I want to make this point clear, within the Haitian community, social stratification, to Haitians, because I'm born in the States, I'm not considered a real Haitian. Why? Because you weren't born in Haiti. So again, it's a constant. You've got to find where you fit in every day. So for us, the diaspora, born and raised here, we have to create that common ground. We have to find what ties us together and figure out if we're going to help here, help in Haiti, help wherever. But we are Haitian, Haitian Americans, however we identify. That's my point. Again.
Côté mouchoir haïtien, représentez bien haïtien, mouchoir, retirez.